Welcome, everyone. Namaste, and thank you so much for joining me once again for another episode of Your Pleasure Incorporated into Daily Living. I'm your host, Ellen Nicholas Rathbone, sensuality consultant, sex educator, author, and entrepreneur. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects, aphrodisiacs. Now, aphrodisiacs are almost as old as human history. They are not quite the toys that we use today, but they are named after the goddess of Aphrodite, who is the goddess of love and beauty. And they are unguents, oils, scents, and foods that create a passion in the body by increasing the blood flow. That is the most important thing about what these do. So I want to talk about some of the more popular aphrodisiacs and also some of the things that are not aphrodisiacs and why. So first, aphrodisiacs, like I just mentioned, are things that get the blood flowing. And that is some certain foods, like, I don't know if you knew it, but cinnamon, coriander, and cumin have been known to be aphrodisiacs because they get the blood flowing, as well as cayenne, like, put cayenne on your food. All right. Oysters have been known to be an aphrodisiac, not so much because they get the blood flowing, but the sensual taste of them and the way they slide down your throat. It's a very familiar taste sensation, and it really does excite the libido to be able to eat those. There have been also chickpeas, believe it or not, have been known to be a very popular aphrodisiac because they're supposed to help men have a little bit more testosterone. So if he's a little low in testosterone, that's chickpeas are supposed to be an aphrodisiac and have been considered one actually since ancient Greece. This is not just somebody who wants to sell chickpeas. Massage, in my opinion, is one of the nicest aphrodisiacs, as is also taking a bath in with bubbles and with the treasure of the sea. I like the treasure of the sea because it actually calms your body down. And if you are in an excited, tense, aggravated state, it's very, very hard to actually relax and to build that tension up again to have an orgasm. So just to be able to take a bath in that is very nice. Now, a lot of very popular foods beyond oysters are an aphrodisiac. And one of my favorites, which I take every single day, is maca powder. Now, this is black maca, but it's also available without being black. It's a powder, and I put it in my smoothie every single day. This is something that definitely is a superfood, and again, helps to increase the circulation in all areas of your body, including your nethers. So if you want to get that blood flowing and you want an enthusiasm for passion, this is a product most definitely to consider. Believe it or not, chocolate is considered an aphrodisiac. The flavor, the flavonoids, the caffeine in it kind of gets everything going. So that's one of the reasons that people give chocolate for Valentine's Day, because they want to inspire passion and amour. So chocolate. And strange as it might seem, even coffee. All right. But if you're going to do coffee, remember, there is a point of balance that you want to achieve. If you've been drinking coffee all day long, having more coffee is definitely not going to be an aphrodisiac. In fact, it's going to make you into a jittery mess. So there has to be a balance with that. Now, along with some of the foods that are so good and actually get the blood flowing, there are some topical lotions that have been around. Now, this one is called China Nympho Cream, and this has been around for over 2,000 years. It is a topical cream to be used on a woman's genitals. And what does it do? It helps to get the blood flowing. All right. So you can put it on the clitoris, you can put it on the labia, and it definitely helps to get the whole area heated and excited. So too is a newer product called On. On is made with nothing but essential oils. And it is a phenomenal way to add a buzz and an electricity to the labia, the clitoris, and the mucosa lining of the vagina. So if you really want to get on, On is definitely a phenomenal product for that. One product that's been around for a long, long time, and people have talked about it as if it was an aphrodisiac, is Spanish fly. Spanish fly is not an aphrodisiac. Actually, it's an illegal substance that irritates the woman's urinary tract so that it begins to itch. And since the urinary tract runs right alongside the vaginal walls, a woman erroneously believes that if she gets a rubbing on the inside of the vagina, that it's going to rub away that itch that is being caused by the Spanish fly inside her urethra. It's not. Okay. And that's why it is not an aphrodisiac. Actually, it's criminal. It's criminal because the itch is terrible, very painful, and you could have sex day and night and out. It won't help. You have to let it kind of flush its way through your system and help it with some cranberry juice or whatever. But it is not an aphrodisiac. You know, it's unfortunate that we have to resort to drugs in our society to get our libido up. But if you want to enjoy your sex life, the release of sexual tension is a natural tranquilizer. And if you can get yourself out of that rat trap of running, and actually take time to slow down, orgasm is the healthiest, most natural physical reward for maintaining a healthy mind and body. Sexual orgasm is life-affirming, joyous, and beautiful. It only becomes a chore when we let the body fall into disrepair. So there again, not necessarily aphrodisiacs, but rest is important, nutrition is important. I've said it all before. But for today, I'm talking about stuff that gets us excited. And so I've mentioned a couple of foods, and they're all definitely spot on. And a couple of superfoods like coffee, of course, organic, so you're not drinking chemicals. Maca, which is phenomenal. All right. I think Moringa oleifera is phenomenal for the body because it helps to keep all your parts working really, really well, and helps to keep the vagina lubricated. But one of the most overlooked pheromones, or I should say aphrodisiacs out there, is pheromones. And that's the natural scent of desire. When another person is putting out strong pheromones, it is very sexually attractive, and it makes the person that smells them actually wants to have sex because, well, subconsciously they are aroused and interested in this person. So women, their pheromone scent peaks for a 24-hour period once every 28 days. Men's pheromones peak when they're excited, during, say, sporting events, during combat, during anything that gets the male agitated and up. That's when their pheromones peak. So their pheromones are not linked to a monthly cycle. They can have their pheromones very strong at any time of the month. But women, on the other hand, it's once a month, and it's only when she is able to get pregnant at one time a month for a 24-hour period. So do not discount how important and exciting pheromones are. And if you want to have those pheromones working for you, even when you're not ovulating, Pure Instinct is definitely a pheromone oil that definitely increases your pheromone scent even when you're not ovulating. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this little talk on aphrodisiacs. Remember, aphrodisiacs have been around for a long, long time. They are natural treatments. They are things that work with the mind and the senses to appreciate the body and how it works. And the most important thing to remember is when things are working well, juices are flowing, blood is flowing freely. And how you can get that to happen is through different kinds of food choices. So I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and I'll see you again next week for another episode of Your Pleasure. Thanks so much for joining me. See you next week. Namaste, and don't forget